In a quiet neighbourhood, where the sun shone brightly and the birds chirped happily, lived a lively girl named Mia. She was 8 years old, with curly auburn hair that bounced as she ran, and bright green eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Mia loved to explore and play, often getting lost in her imaginative games. Her laughter could be heard echoing through the streets as she spent her afternoons outside, making new adventures with her loyal companion Max. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you're watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. Max was a golden retriever with a heart of gold. He was as playful as they come, always wagging his tail and eager for a game of fetch or a chance to cuddle. Max and Mia shared an unbreakable bond. From the moment Mia's dad brought the puppy home when Mia was just a toddler, Max became an essential part of their family. They grew up together, with Max learning to respond to Mia's laughter and cries in an instant. Mia's dad, Mr. Thompson, was a kind and patient man who worked from home as an artist. Every day he would take breaks to enjoy the sunshine and watch Mia and Max play in the yard. He loved sketching them while they had their fun, capturing their joy on the canvas. Mr. Thompson always made time for Mia, whether it was helping her build an incredible fort out of blankets or encouraging her to ride her bike down the street. Their connection felt like an unbreakable chain, linking their hearts together. On weekends, they would venture to the nearby park, where dogs ran free and children played tag. Max would dart after balls with unmatched energy, while Mr. Thompson pushed Mia on the swings. The laughter filled the air and wrapped around them like a warm hug, creating memories that would last forever. One sunny Saturday afternoon, Mia decided to play a game of hide-and-seek in their backyard with Max close at her side. She giggled as she hid behind a large tree trunk, peeking out every few seconds to see if Max could find her. The dog sniffed around and gave soft barks, trying hard to track down his best friend. Suddenly a stranger walked by the yard, and Mia's attention shifted from her game of hide-and-seek to the unfamiliar face. The stranger, who appeared to be in his 30s, wore sunglasses and looked around in a curious manner. Mia felt a little shiver of uncertainty, but quickly shrugged it off as she watched Max perk up, sensing something was different. Mr. Thompson was inside the house, working on a new painting when he heard the familiar sounds of laughter and barking outside. He paused briefly, smiling at the joyful scene he imagined in the yard. His heart swelled at the thought of how much fun they were having. Yet, as he glanced outside for a moment, he saw the stranger lingering near their fence. That tugged at his instincts like an unseen string that connected him to his daughter. As Max continued to bark softly in Mia's direction, Mr. Thompson felt an urge to check on them. It was then that he took a breath and grasped his brush tightly, ready for whatever reality lay ahead for his beloved family. It was a bright and cheerful Saturday morning, the kind that felt perfect for adventures. The sun beamed down, casting warm rays through the leafy trees of the neighbourhood. A gentle breeze flowed, rustling the leaves and carrying the sweet scent of blooming flowers through the air. Mia laughed as she dashed across the grassy yard, her joyful spirit radiating like the sunshine above her. Today, Mia had decided to play her favourite game, hide and seek. She loved how exciting it felt to find secret spots where she could hide, and no one did it better than Max. With his keen sense of smell and playful nature, he always made seeking a thrilling challenge. As Mia hid behind a tall oak tree, she peered out from her hiding spot, her bright eyes sparkling with mischief. "Okay, Max, you have to find me," she teased, giggling softly while covering her mouth with her small hands. Max wagged his fluffy tail vigorously, his golden fur glistening in the sunlight. He sniffed around excitedly, trying to pick up any scent of his best friend. The world was quiet except for their laughter and the occasional chirp of birds fluttering nearby. Mr. Thompson sat by the window with his sketchpad resting on his lap. He smiled as he watched Mia and Max play. Their happiness filled his heart with warmth. Today was special. He had set aside extra time to spend with them after finishing up a few art projects. As Mia ducked behind the tree trunk again for another round of hiding, she couldn't help but admire how vibrant everything looked outside. The flowers were in full bloom, painting patches of colour across the yard, while butterflies danced above them like little fairies in flight. She loved nature's beauty and relished every moment spent outdoors. But something felt different today as she glanced around during her hiding breaks. a feeling tinged with excitement mixed with an unexplainable sense of watchfulness in the air. After scanning their familiar surroundings filled with cheerful neighbours and friendly pets, she spotted something unusual, a figure standing near their front gate. The stranger was tall and wore dark sunglasses that shielded his eyes from view. He leaned against the fence casually, but seemed to be watching closely as Mia played with Max. Her heart skipped a beat. It felt strange to see someone unfamiliar so close to home when everything else was so perfect. Mia shook off her unease. Perhaps he was just passing by or looking for directions. She returned to focusing on Max, who was now barking softly in a light-hearted way, as if urging her to come out of hiding. At that moment, Mr. Thompson glanced up from his sketches again, after hearing his daughter's laughter fade into silence. His gaze narrowed when he caught sight of the stranger lingering at their fence. Something about him didn't sit right. Instincts kicked in as he sensed a change in the atmosphere surrounding his family's usual carefree day. A mix of concern washed over him as he stood up from his chair and moved toward the door, ready to protect what mattered most to him, as an unexpected twist loomed just beyond their sunny yard on this otherwise delightful day. As Mia crouched behind the sturdy oak tree, her giggles mixed with the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. She was so absorbed in her game with Max that she hardly noticed the figure approaching their yard. The sun continued to shine brightly, and the cheerful sounds of birds chirping surrounded her, creating a perfect backdrop for an adventure. But the mood shifted subtly when the stranger drew closer. The man stood at the edge of the Thompsons' yard, slightly obscured by the tall grass and blooming flowers. He had tousled dark hair and wore a casual outfit with a hoodie that covered much of his face. The sunglasses seemed to hide his eyes completely. There was something unnerving about how he leaned against the fence without saying a word. At first glance, he could easily have been mistaken for someone simply passing by, but still, he lingered just long enough to raise questions. Mia glanced up from her hidden spot and spotted movement out of the corner of her eye. Her curiosity piqued as she wondered who he might be. She had met many neighbours before, but this man did not look familiar at all. A feeling of unease washed over her, but her adventurous spirit pushed it aside as she focused on Max. "Come on, Max, it's your turn to find me," she urged playfully, unaware of the growing discomfort that Mr. Thompson felt inside their house. Max barked enthusiastically, blissfully ignoring the stranger and bounding around looking for Mia's scent. While Mia remained unbothered, Mr. Thompson couldn't shake off a rising sense of concern swelling in his chest. He shifted uncomfortably at the window, contemplating whether he should step outside to check on everything or stay put for now. He wanted to trust that all would be well, but instinct told him otherwise. Looking out at Mia, playing happily, brought him comfort, but also made him worry more deeply about the unknown presence nearby. As Mia decided to peek out from behind her hiding place once more, her bright green eyes caught sight of the man standing near the fence more clearly now. Just as she began to feel a flicker of nervousness about him being there, she quickly shook her head, a bit annoyed with herself for thinking thoughts she usually chased away with delightful daydreams. Max finally caught a hint of Mia's laughter and bounded over toward the tree where she was hiding. It was then that he paused and noticed the stranger too, lowering his tail slightly in caution. His playful demeanour shifted as if sensing something unsettling beneath their normal sunny atmosphere. "Mia! Where are you?" Mr. Thompson's voice called gently from inside, reminding Mia of safety even while hints of confusion lingered in her mind regarding the stranger outside. "I'm here, Dad," she shouted back cheerfully, yet still aiming to reassure him of their fun game. The moment brought awareness back into focus as Mr. Thompson's instincts kicked into full gear. He stepped outside cautiously to get a better look at what was happening, while keeping a watchful eye on Mia and Max playing together near the oak tree, preparing himself for whatever interaction might occur next with this mysterious figure who had suddenly appeared in their lives on what began as such a joyful day. As the stranger moved closer to the Thompsons' yard, a shift in the atmosphere became palpable. Max, who'd been happily bounding around in search of Mia, suddenly froze. His ears perked up and he looked intently at the figure approaching the fence. The playful spark in his eyes dimmed, replaced by a serious demeanour that showed he sensed something was off. Mia was still crouched behind the oak tree, her laughter echoing through the yard. But as she noticed Max's sudden stillness, she paused and turned around to see what had captured his attention. Her heart raced when she spotted the stranger standing too close for comfort. Something about him made her uncomfortable, but she pushed that feeling aside. After all, this was just a game. However, Max wasn't feeling playful anymore. With a deep growl rumbling in his throat, he positioned himself firmly between Mia and the stranger. The dog's body stiffened, his golden fur bristling as if sensing danger. He barked loudly, a protective sound that echoed through the yard like a warning bell. Maxie, Mia whispered uncertainly, sensing Max's shift in behaviour. She knew her dog well. He was always friendly and loving. But now he seemed determined to guard her from whatever unknown force approached. With every step the stranger took toward them, Max stepped forward too, matching each movement with fierce loyalty and courage. The stranger halted upon hearing Max's growl, his gaze flickering from Mia to the dog. A slight frown creased his face as though he hadn't expected such resistance from a pet. He stood there for a moment as if contemplating his next move while Max continued to bark protectively. From inside the house, Mr. Thompson watched anxiously through the window. Fear twisted in his stomach as he saw Max spring into action without hesitation. "Stay back!" he shouted instinctively before stepping outside onto the porch. His heart raced as he prepared himself for confrontation while trying to keep Mia safe. "Mia, stay behind Max," Mr. Thompson called out firmly but calmly, hoping to instill confidence both in his daughter and their brave dog. Mia nodded quickly but felt a mix of confusion and trust in Max's instincts as she crouched behind him. She reached down to pat him softly on his back, whispering words of encouragement even though they were both unsure of what might happen next. Max's protective stance did not waver. He remained poised and watchful, as if daring anyone to come closer. As Mr. Thompson approached cautiously but with authority, he could feel adrenaline pumping through him. He would do anything to protect his family. "Who are you?" Mr. Thompson asked loudly but firmly, as he stepped toward the fence separating them from the stranger who now stood still. A tension hung in the air as everyone awaited an answer that could change everything about this sunny day. With Mia tucked safely behind Max and her father approaching with determination, it became clear that love and loyalty would define this moment. A brave dog defending his girl against an unsettling unknown force, ready to disrupt their peaceful afternoon together. The tension in the yard was thick as Mr. Thompson stood frozen at the window, his heart pounding in his chest. He could see Max barking fiercely, positioning himself like a shield between Mia and the stranger. The sight of his little girl crouched behind her dog sent a surge of protectiveness rushing through him. He felt compelled to act, knowing that he couldn't just sit by while an unknown figure loomed so closely to his daughter. "Stay back," he shouted instinctively, his voice carrying strength despite the fear churning within. He flung the front door open and stepped outside, feeling the cool breeze wash over him, but not easing the rising adrenaline coursing through his veins. His instincts kicked into high gear. He had to get to Mia and ensure she was safe from any potential danger. "Mia, stay behind Max," he yelled, projecting calm reassurance, though he felt anything but calm inside. His eyes remained locked on the stranger, who now seemed to hesitate, caught off guard by Max's protective stance and Mr. Thompson's sudden appearance. As he approached the yard, Mr. Thompson's emotions swung between anger and concern. Who was this man? What did he want? These questions buzzed in his mind along with his protective instincts as he quickened his pace, determined to close the distance between himself and his daughter. "Mia, are you all right?" he called out as he neared her side, keeping a careful watch on both her and Max. The dog stood tall and fierce, barking loudly as if daring the stranger to make a move closer. Max's loyalty shone brightly in that moment, displaying bravery that only a beloved pet could muster when it mattered most. "I'm okay, Dad," Mia replied, her voice a mix of uncertainty and trust as she clung to her dog for reassurance. She felt safe behind Max's sturdy frame, but knew they were all caught in an unsettling situation that needed addressing. The closer Mr. Thompson got to them, the more he could see the stranger's face, a mixture of frustration and something else that felt vaguely unsettling, but hard to define. The man seemed to consider his next words carefully before speaking up. "Just passing through," the stranger finally said, but there was an edge to his tone that made Mr. Thompson squint suspiciously. "Passing through? On someone else's property?" Mr. Thompson replied sharply, crossing his arms as a shield over his family. "What do you want?" The stranger shifted uncomfortably under the intense scrutiny of both man and dog, feeling the weight of their protective stance against him. All Mr. Thompson could think about was keeping Mia safe. She had no clue what kind of risk was present just beyond their cheerful games. In moments like these, clarity came into focus. Love for family and a fierce desire to protect them filled him with courage. He took another step forward, positioning himself slightly ahead of Mia and Max without breaking eye contact with the stranger. With urgency intermingling with determination, Mr. Thompson prepared himself for whatever reaction would come next from this unknown man in their otherwise peaceful neighbourhood, ready to stand firm against any threat that dared encroach upon their happy day together. After the intense encounter with the stranger, Mr. Thompson felt a wave of relief wash over him as he ensured that Mia and Max were safe. The stranger had quickly retreated from their yard, but the unease lingered in the air like a thick fog. As Mr. Thompson hugged Mia tightly, he couldn't shake the feeling that something unsettling had just passed over them. In a moment of clarity, he decided to review the security camera footage to gain a better understanding of what had transpired. Rushing inside, he headed for his study where the computer was set up near the window. He felt a need to analyse those critical moments. Perhaps there was something on the footage that would illuminate the stranger's intentions. As he booted up the computer and prepared to access the recordings, his hands trembled slightly. He clicked through the menu until he found the right date and time, fast-forwarding through benign clips of playful afternoons filled with laughter and light. Finally arriving at the moment they needed, he focused intently on the screen, heart racing with anticipation. Mr. Thompson watched closely as Mia and Max played their game of hide-and-seek just before the stranger appeared. The exuberance on his daughter's face brought a bittersweet smile to his lips. She truly was innocent and full of joy in her little world. But as soon as he spotted movement in the frame, his expression hardened again. In an instant, everything changed on screen as the shadow of the stranger approached their home. Mr. Thompson's evaluation grew serious as he saw Max pause mid-bounce, snapping from play mode into protective mode in an impressive display that inspired pride within him. The dog barked fiercely, placing himself between Mia and danger with unwavering loyalty. "Good boy, Max," Mr. Thompson muttered under his breath as he viewed his dog's bravery unfold before him. It was at this point that Mia peered out from her hiding spot behind the oak tree and noticed the stranger too. The footage captured how she was curious, yet unaware of any potential threat around her. Innocence meeting uncertainty on such a warm day. "You can see it right there," Mr. Thompson thought as he studied more closely how Max defended Mia unflinchingly while barking loudly, a scene replaying itself eternally in his mind, now sharpened by video evidence. The stranger hesitated at first when Max growled, but then stood still for what seemed like an eternity before finally backing away slowly. Something about him felt off even through that grainy image. Mr. Thompson leaned closer to catch every detail of the man's movements, as if trying to decipher hidden intentions behind those dark sunglasses. A gasp escaped his lips as he reached a crucial part in the recording. Right before leaving their property, one fleeting moment caught his eye. The stranger seemed to glance back over his shoulder toward their front door with a look of frustration, or frustration mixed with something else entirely, which left Mr. Thompson unsettled once more. He hit pause, feeling compelled by instinct's urgency, a heaviness pressing down hard within him, like an anchor anchoring him firmly against impending dread. What had just happened, and why did it feel so menacing? With every second that passed while watching those few critical moments unfold, doubts crept back into his mind. Would they be safe now? He needed to figure this out for Mia's sake and ensure their lives returned smoothly to how they had been before this unexpected incident invaded their sunshine-filled day, before fear could cast its shadow once again over their happy lives together. As Mr. Thompson zeroed in on the crucial moment in the footage, his heart raced with every passing second. The earlier moment of bravado began to fade, replaced by a tense silence as he leaned closer to the screen. In his mind, he replayed the scene before him like an urgent puzzle that needed solving. As he scrutinized the details, a growing sense of dread washed over him. He saw Mia's innocent laughter and Max's playful leaps quickly transform into a cascade of protectiveness when the stranger entered their yard. The dog's sudden change in demeanor was striking, and it gave Mr. Thompson pause. Max had a keen instinct for sensing danger. But what truly captured Mr. Thompson's attention was the stranger's expression as he hesitated and shifted nervously. As Mr. Thompson watched closely, he noticed something that made his breath catch in his throat. Just before stepping away from their property, the stranger glanced back over his shoulder toward their front door. That fleeting moment seemed insignificant at first, like an insignificant cameo in a movie, but then it clicked together like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle in Mr. Thompson's mind. His eyes widened as he processed the implications behind those brief seconds captured by the camera. The look on the stranger's face had a mix of frustration and determination that sent chills down Mr. Thompson's spine. It was not just an innocent passerby or someone lost looking for directions. This man had purpose. In that instant, realization settled heavily upon him, causing him to gasp audibly. "Oh no," he whispered to himself, feeling blood rush to his cheeks as anxiety clawed at his heart. The gravity of that look resonated deeply. It suggested that the stranger may have been watching them for some time before approaching, perhaps even plotting something sinister. With a pounding heart, Mr. Thompson rewound the footage to rewatch that specific moment again and again, hoping to glean more insight into what exactly had transpired during those crucial seconds. Each playthrough heightened his sense of urgency. The stranger's intention no longer felt vague. Now it felt alarmingly clear. He thought about Mia and how blissfully unaware she had been only moments ago, completely disengaged from any notion of danger lurking around her during their carefree game. A knot formed in his stomach at the thought that their perfect day could have turned horrifying if Max hadn't intervened with instinctual bravery. With each replay of the video revealing more concerning details about the stranger's behaviour, Mr. Thompson felt compelled to act decisively. He couldn't let fear paralyse him. Instead, he needed to ensure Mia's safety moving forward, while also discovering whether there were other ways to protect their home. After gathering himself as best as he could, Mr. Thompson made up his mind to take precautions against further encounters with unknown individuals who might harbour harmful intentions toward his family. He would not let this happen again. As the sunlight streamed through the window behind him and illuminated dust particles swirling in quiet elegance, a new resolve filled him. A father fiercely dedicated to safeguarding his daughter and beloved pet from threats both known and unknown lurking quietly in shadows they may never see coming again. As Mr. Thompson continued to replay the footage, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. The stranger's furtive glances and nervous demeanour now took on a more sinister context, revealing intentions that sent shivers down his spine. It felt clear that this person was not merely lost or seeking directions. There was a sense of purpose in his approach that suggested he had been watching them, perhaps looking for an opportunity. The stranger's glance back toward the front door just before leaving the yard lingered in Mr. Thompson's mind. It was as if he was checking for something, or someone, inside the house. The thought sent a chill through him. What if he had been evaluating the house for more than just a casual visit? A dark suspicion crept into Mr. Thompson's thoughts. Was this stranger considering breaking in, or worse, attempting to harm his family? Mr. Thompson's heart raced as he recalled the stranger's posture, leaning against the fence with an air of casualness that belied the tension in the atmosphere. It struck him how easy it would have been for Mia to be outside alone without Max's protection. The idea that the man could have had harmful motives made his stomach twist in knots. Feeling a surge of adrenaline, Mr. Thompson sat back from the computer, his mind racing with scenarios. What if this man had been stalking their neighbourhood? How many others had seen him lurking? The sense of urgency grew stronger. He needed to get to the bottom of this. He imagined what could have happened if Max hadn't jumped between Mia and the intruder at that critical moment. Would she have even known to run? Would she have felt threatened? The thought consumed him with fear and anger toward the stranger who dared approach his child. Determined not to let fear dictate his actions, Mr. Thompson decided it was time to take serious measures. He grabbed his phone and began searching for local neighbourhood watch groups and community forums where he could report the incident. They needed to warn others about this potential threat lurking nearby. As he typed out messages and emails, images of Mia playing joyfully in their backyard filled his mind, the carefree laughter now haunted by thoughts of danger. The idea that someone could take advantage of her innocence ignited a fierce protective instinct within him. In a moment of clarity, Mr. Thompson remembered the old saying, "It takes a village." He knew he couldn't handle this alone. Rallying their neighbours would increase community awareness and keep everyone safer. Perhaps they could organise meetings or share contact information for those who noticed anything suspicious. With resolve firming within him, Mr. Thompson started drafting a post for social media, outlining what had happened and urging everyone to be vigilant about their surroundings. As he typed, he felt a sense of empowerment replace his earlier anxiety. He wouldn't allow fear to consume him. Instead, he would turn it into action. The sun began to set outside, casting long shadows across the yard where moments ago Mia had played blissfully unaware of the lurking threat nearby. Now it felt vital that they all worked together to ensure their neighbourhood remained safe and welcoming, a sanctuary for children like Mia and families like theirs. Just as he finished composing his message, Mr. Thompson paused briefly to look out at their yard again, his heart filled with love for Mia and gratitude toward Max for their unwavering loyalty during such a frightening encounter. He vowed then and there that no matter what unfolded next, he would do everything in his power to protect them from any darkness threatening their sunny lives together moving forward. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the Thompson yard, Mia sat on the grass with Max by her side. The earlier tension from the day slowly began to fade, but the bond between Mia and her dog had only strengthened in light of recent events. She reached out and hugged Max tightly, feeling his soft fur against her cheek as she reflected on how brave he'd been. "Thank you for protecting me today," she whispered, her voice barely above a whisper, but filled with sincerity. Max looked up at her with his big, gentle eyes, tail wagging as if he understood every word she said. In that moment, their friendship felt deeper than ever. They were partners in every sense of the word. Mia thought back to the encounter with the stranger. How scared she had felt when she first saw him approaching their yard. But just as quickly as that fear had taken hold, it was dispelled by Max's unwavering loyalty. She remembered how he had stood firmly in front of her, barking fiercely to guard her from harm. It made her feel safe and important, like nothing could touch her while Max was around. "Max, you're my hero!" she exclaimed playfully, and Max responded with a happy bark and a joyful nuzzle against her hand. In that playful exchange, Mia could feel how their friendship was not just about playtime anymore. It was about trust and protection. After their family dinner that evening, Mr. Thompson noticed Mia and Max lying together on the living room floor. He smiled at the sight, his daughter curled up beside her loyal dog, both feeling the comfort of their companionship after the day's events. It warmed his heart to see how they had each other's backs. It filled him with pride knowing that Max would always be there to watch over Mia. "Mia," Mr. Thompson suggested gently as he entered the room, "why don't you share your favourite story about you and Max?" The request made Mia's face light up instantly. "Okay, there was that time we went to the park," she began enthusiastically, recounting tales of their adventures filled with laughter and joy. As she spoke about all the fun they had shared, her connection to Max grew even more apparent. Not only had they played fetch or chased butterflies together, they had constructed a world of imagination where they were explorers on daring quests. Each story illustrated how crucial Max had become in her life, a constant companion providing love and support. In this moment of storytelling, Mr. Thompson realised how important it was for both Mia and Max to have one another. Their bond was unbreakable, a relationship forged through shared experiences that included laughter, fun, and now a newfound resilience following today's incident. Mia finished her stories with a giggle as Max rolled onto his back for some belly rubs, clearly enjoying the attention. The sight brought a smile to Mr. Thompson's face. He understood that even amid fears and uncertainties in life, love found its way through cherished friendships, whether between humans or across species. As dusk settled outside their window, Mr. Thompson felt a profound sense of gratitude wash over him for Max's bravery. It reminded him how pets not only serve as companions but also protectors who stand by us in trying times. Mia leaned down to kiss Max on the head before whispering another heartfelt, "I love you." Max responded with a soft whine of contentment and gave her a gentle lick on the cheek, a perfect symbol of their unshakable bond that would continue to thrive no matter what challenges lay ahead. Together they felt invincible, each day strengthening their friendship even further while remaining vigilant against any threats that dared to intrude upon their sunny lives together. As the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, Mr. Thompson reflected on the day's events and the lessons that had emerged from such a tense situation. The encounter with the stranger had rattled him, yet it also highlighted the incredible bond between Mia and Max. The loyalty and bravery displayed by Max not only protected Mia, but also served as a reminder of how essential it was to pay attention to their surroundings. In a world where unpredictability lurked around every corner, Mr. Thompson understood that vigilance was vital for keeping his family safe. He thought back to the earlier moments when he had felt comfortable allowing Mia to play outside without worry, fully trusting in the peacefulness of their neighbourhood. Yet, today had taught him that even in the safest of places, caution should always be exercised. Mia had learned her own lesson as well, that while adventure and fun are important, recognizing potential dangers is equally crucial. Her trust in Max's instincts made her feel safe, but it also opened her eyes to understanding when she needed to be alert. Children often see the world through innocent eyes, and sometimes it takes a close call for them to appreciate that safety must come first. As they settled into bed that night, Mr. Thompson lingered by Mia's door for a moment. He watched her peacefully sleeping beside Max, who lay protectively at her side. Their connection was palpable. It was a friendship rooted in love and understanding that transcended mere companionship. Max wasn't just a pet. He was a loyal guardian who would stand watch over Mia no matter what challenges lay ahead. In his heart, Mr. Thompson felt grateful for Max's vigilance. He knew that their loyal dog would continue to keep Mia safe during their adventures, helping her navigate both joyful moments and unforeseen dangers. This realization filled him with hope. With love and protection from both parents and pets alike, they could face whatever life threw their way together. The incident served as a catalyst for change. Mr. Thompson felt motivated to initiate community discussions about safety measures and neighborhood watch programs. He envisioned gatherings where neighbors could share experiences and strategies for staying vigilant, while allowing children to explore freely within a supportive environment. After all, it truly does take a village to raise children safely. As he finally left Mia's room, Mr. Thompson felt a renewed sense of purpose, a commitment not only to protect his family but also to foster connections with those around him. They'd all become guardians of one another, standing strong against any threats that might arise. This experience reminded everyone involved of the power of loyalty and bravery, both within families and among friends, whether human or animal. Together they could create an environment where joy flourished alongside awareness of danger. With thoughts swirling around in his mind about how far-reaching this newfound awareness could be, Mr. Thompson took one last glance at Max curled up beside Mia before closing her door gently. Their lives would continue moving forward under brighter skies filled with love, laughter, and an enriching appreciation for the bonds forged through trust and courage. Lessons learned that would resonate long after this day faded into memory.